Here's a great question. What's your reputation? How do you want people to talk about you? How are you known? I'd like to introduce you to my puppy dogs. Two of them, they're all four in here and they might come into the picture. This is Bentley and he's a Pitbull. He's a rescue puppy who was found under a bridge in Auckland in New Zealand in a plastic bag and somebody had thrown him away. And now he's the love of my life. He sleeps with me every night exactly in this spot. And he's got the most beautiful temperament. He's kind, he's loving. He's even a bit scared of everybody else except mum and dad and his brothers and sisters. But pit bulls have a reputation of being horrible dogs, fighting dogs, nasty dogs. He just isn't. But he has to overcome that reputation because that's the reputation that other pit bulls have given him. So here's a great question. That's the camera's moving because the dogs are playing with the camera. How cool is that? As an exercise professional, and I call myself a personal results coach because there are too many people who teach exercise, preach about exercise, give information about exercise that can't really call themselves a professional. So if I call myself an exercise professional and somebody else does, I get the reputation of the person that doesn't know their anatomy and doesn't really care about their clients and doesn't have a good sales and communication system and doesn't have a good marketing system and is not a professional person. And I have to accept that if somebody thinks I'm a personal trainer, I'm going to have the reputation of all other personal trainers. So what do we do there? One of the things that we've done at Maxis, an International Fitness Business College, is we're asking our students not to call themselves personal trainers because personal trainers have a really bad reputation, like pit bulls do. Now, you might be an awesome personal trainer, but sometimes your reputation doesn't do any good for who you really are, does it, darling? So we ask that you call yourself a results coach, a personal exercise coach, yes, an exercise professional, but there are some people now that are calling themselves exercise professionals and they're not very professional. If you don't have a uniform, if you don't arrive on time, if you don't have a good payment system, if you don't know your anatomy and physiology and you're giving people programs that are unsafe, that are slow, that are boring, that could hurt their joints short-term or long-term, I don't know how I could call myself an exercise professional if that's what I was doing. So you might be really good at what you do, but if you're lumped into a group of people that have a bad reputation, is it possible that you'll also get that same bad reputation? Now, I used to think what I'll do, Rowie, is I'm going to change the exercise profession. And one of the things we used to say at Max, it was part of our mission statement, was to positively change the health and fitness of the world and to raise the professional standards of the exercise profession. But sadly, the exercise profession doesn't seem to want to have its standards raised. There are so many people who are giving out information about exercise and they don't know their anatomy and physiology. Have you noticed? You only have to walk into any gym or personal training studio to see exercises that if they were being done in a workplace, on a construction site, in a factory, in a warehouse, that whoever was giving that movement pattern to do would get sued because it's unsafe for the human body. But if you walk into a gym or a personal training studio, it seems that movement pattern is normal. And of course it isn't normal, it's unsafe, it's dangerous, and it's going to hurt somebody's joints. And that's why we can't call ourselves professionals if we're giving people those kinds of exercises. So as I sit here with my beautiful Pitbull, who's just the most gorgeous dog in the world, aren't you, darling? He's just beautiful, but unfortunately has a really bad reputation. We don't take him out because people in New Zealand don't like pit bulls. There's a lot of people in New Zealand who are trying to get pit bulls banned. There's a lot of people who have shared with me they would like to get personal trainers banned because they've had such a bad experience with a personal trainer that they don't want anything to do with not just personal trainers, but they've stopped exercising. And wouldn't that be sad? I have to take responsibility for that too. I've got people in my life who, because when I first started in the exercise profession, I didn't ask questions, I just listened to all the experts. I did what everybody else was doing and I followed the crowd. I became an expert in other people's opinions. Isn't that embarrassing? But I'm sharing that with you because I'm hoping that you don't make the same mistakes that I did. I had to learn the hard way that if you don't know your anatomy and physiology and if you don't genuinely care about people, and I say those both together because if you genuinely care about people and you really want to help people to be healthy, fit and strong, wouldn't you learn your anatomy and physiology? Wouldn't you learn what's a safe exercise and what isn't? And wouldn't it be irresponsible and disrespectful to give people an exercise program based on the opinion of someone else? I don't want to be the expert in somebody else's opinion. How about you? I love my beautiful Pitbull. He's gorgeous. We have to accept the fact that because he has a bad reputation, that some people won't like him. And unfortunately, if you call yourself a personal trainer, you have to accept the consequence that there have been some very bad personal trainers that have come before you, and they've given you a really bad reputation. So there's two choices. You can try and do what I did, which is raise the professional standards of the exercise profession. Sadly, I don't think they want to be raised. Or you could just be the very best and keep getting better. And that's the important thing, isn't it? We're never the best. We've got to keep getting better. We've got to keep learning. We've got to keep studying. We've got to keep training, because I have never met anybody that knows the human body. I only know a bees willy, and I've been studying and training every day. I'm married to a man that's got a master's degree in exercise science. K-Man's a published research scientist. He probably knows the human body better than anybody that I know. And yet he still shares daily that he only knows a little bit and he's learning every day. Could that be a great reputation to have? To be somebody who's learning constantly, training and educating to get better and better, not have some ridiculous notion that you can be the best. I'm going to be the best version of an exercise professional. How ridiculous. Because then how could you possibly get better? So whatever your reputation is, whether you have the reputation of a Labrador or a Pitbull, may you be the most beautiful person that you are wanting to be. And if you call yourself a professional, could that be that we're always learning? Because if we want a great reputation, could it be really important to be the person that's constantly learning? These are my, look at all 4 puppy dogs sitting here with me on the couch. Very rare that I sit down, but I wanted to share with you how beautiful it is to have dogs in your life, how beautiful it is. Bentley's got a reputation of being a tough, fighting dog, and look at him. He's the most gorgeous, calm, loving, beautiful man that I've ever had in my life, apart from K-Man. Have a day of adding value to your world, and may you live your life to the max. Thank you for coming to Romax. Romax is all about being healthy, fit and strong for a lifetime, having a career or business that you love, being financially free and having great people in your life. And thank you for sharing my great people, because these are the beautiful people that I have in my life.